up, everyone? Welcome back to Echoes of Elsewhere. Today, I am bringing back an extra special guest that you might recognize from Season 1. My favorite fellow explorer, my occasional getaway driver, and my co-pilot through life and through this podcast episode. I am joined today by none other than Backroads2Abandoned. We have officially been friends for 6 months, so I figured it was a good time to bring her back on the podcast and to recap some of our favorite adventures, explorers, memories, moments, and all the crazy shit that we've already been through since the beginning of this year. We've been chased out of bandos by vultures, crawled through some very questionable windows, and have survived slightly sketchy dirt road detours. It's been a fun, random, and definitely laughter-filled ride. So we are back today as a duo, and we are reliving our most unhinged, heartwarming, and hilarious moments on the road and in the ruins. So get ready to hear the behind the scenes of what it's really like to explore abandoned places with your best friend. Chaos, creatures, and all.
We crack me up for real.
I know. I had fun going through our stuff and the shit that we say.
Yeah.
Like, even from day one, it was whenever we couldn't get into that one that we really liked with the screened-in porch, and it had that old gas pump in the back of the house, and we thought maybe the neighbors owned it or something.
Yeah.
And when we realized we couldn't get in, both of us at the same time were like, well, it was worth the drive-by. I started laughing. I was like, look at us on day one already.
I know. We're
already mimicking each other.
Already, yeah. And it's so funny because I was saying to Robert, I said, it's like we think the same thing. And even like when we create, I was looking the other day and I had posted the video where we just randomly got out the car and took picture and a quick video of this rainbow.
Yeah.
And I had posted mine, and then I saw yours come up, and I was like, oh my God. We weren't even standing near each other, and we have videoed and done the same thing, just a little different in color. And I used a different sort of color filter. And it was like, oh my God, how do we make the same art?
I love it, though. Yeah. I love it. But I do think, because you pointed out to me that I should start recording more video, like the first time that we explored together, because you asked me if I did video, and I didn't do a lot of video at the time, and you were like, girl, you should. And so I was trying to do it in a way where it's not like everybody else, you know? And then I noticed sometimes when I look back at your older stuff, especially like before you and I started exploring together, I'm like, I just straight stole her thing. No, I didn't even realize it.
I don't. Maybe that's why I love your videos now, because I didn't even realize that. But back, a lot of my older videos, I would go slow because I had this friend, and she told me, she said, just keep saying in your head, slow, slow. You're going too fast. Like, this is crap. But now I'm back to like high speed. I'm not even going slow.
Well, you can edit it differently too, where it doesn't have to be in one video, so you can take little clips or whatever.
But I'm so glad you have done your videos, because they are excellent. So good.
You.
They are brilliant, really are. I'm going to start just handing my footage over to you and saying, do these for us.
I feel like I'm trying to be a hybrid between you and Jason Baker, and like, if y'all had a baby, that's me.
Yeah. That's a little.
Or if you're like content had a baby, then that's me.
But you really do. You don't. I mean, you have a unique way. And I actually look and think, wow, I missed that. Shoot, I should have went from that angle. Sometimes I love the mistake about your photos. Every photo, my I kind of like the bright stuff, you know. I don't know why, but I like a dark picture, but I like a brightness too. But it's like there's a mystery on all of your photos, and I love that. So you're killing it.
Thank
You're
you.
killing it.
Well, that means a lot coming from you because you're one of the first explorers. I was like, damn, I really love her stuff. And then the way your personality came through in some of your videos, I was like, I really just love her.
Yeah,
So it's a full circle moment, you know?
yeah, yeah.
I will say that. Well, we've had a lot of fun together, so.
We have. Hadn't it been a crazy? I mean, I was trying to think when our first explore was, and
January 18th
January 18th. Wow.
of this year.
Wow. We're going on almost 6 months, and it
hmm
seems like a lifetime. We've done a lot, girl.
hmm
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. It seems way longer than that. But it's like, it's funny that you were saying to Robert, you know, about how we think alike. Because I was saying to Meredith that we'll be in a place and we know each other so well now. And we've always had this like immediate thing with each other
Mhm.
where sometimes we can just look at each other and be like, you good? You know,
Yeah.
like, are you ready to go?
I know.
And the other person doesn't have to say anything. You
Yeah.
know, it's just like that energy shift happens and we
That's
can read
right.
each other. And I feel like in what we do, that means absolutely
It
everything because
is.
you're in situations where you don't have time to debate oftentimes. You know, you either, if something feels off to one of you, then that should be enough. And I feel
Mm-hmm.
like we work that way. We don't like challenge each other or
No.
question each other. Yeah. And I really appreciate that about you because you're like on
Yeah.
it every time.
Yeah. And I've actually never explored with anybody that I could literally depend that they were going to read my mind. So as I'm thinking, this ain't good, you're turning your heels. That's
hmm
that's a quite a vibe right there. You know.
hmm
So as it's coming in my mind, you're already back to me. Let's roll. And
Yeah.
I mean, it gives me chills, kind of. But I'm getting chills thinking about it because, like, that, yeah, there are situations where it's like you don't have time to talk about it. You got to
Mm-mm.
know that when you're stepping, that person's with you. Because
hmm
I'm the type, I'm never going to leave you if it's a
Yeah.
situation of any kind. But I don't want to be dragging your ass out by your hair.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I feel like we prevent each other from getting too distracted and excited because, like, you know, when we were in the church, in the checker church or whatever, you were like, I'm going to take these pictures. And you were like, about to be gone. And I was like, wait,
Yeah.
I hear
Yeah.
something, you know?
Yeah.
And then it was the opposite way when we were at that one house with the four-wheeler people because I was just like gung ho
Yeah.
doing
Yeah.
my thing, and the whole time you're like, I don't know,
Mhm.
something feels off. I think we're being like watched. We need to get out of here.
Yeah.
And I was like, someone's too paranoid. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. But you
we gotta go.
say, yeah. And we hit out just in time because as soon as we hugged goodbye, there they pull. There they pull up. And I was like,
I cannot believe it.
and you know, we didn't say, oh my God, somebody's here. Wait, nothing. Both of us cars,
Uh huh. Yeah, we didn't even lollygag with each other, you know.
we didn't wave at them. We didn't say nothing. We just rolled.
At least to them, it could have looked like maybe we were like peeing in the bushes or something. You know what I mean?
They might have thought we was out there getting some hanky panky on because we were standing there like hugging goodbye because that was the end of
When
our
they run into,
day, our
yeah.
explore. And they might have thought we was like had a little rendezvous out there in their old house. I didn't
That's
even
so
think
funny.
about how that.
That looked, yeah, I know. I did wonder because I was like, I wonder what triggered them to come anyway. You know, like how did they know
I'm sure they
to
had
come
deer
look?
cams.
Yeah,
I
so I was
saw
like,
old cameras out
you
there.
did.
I saw old cameras, but they couldn't have been working anymore. But I'm sure that they have upped their game and they've got deer cams.
Mm-hmm.
And
Probably
so I'm sure they saw us on the deer cams, or there's something that alerted them.
some sort of sensor or something.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dang. Well,
Uh,
we got in and we got out. So we still
Done
got
it.
to see it.
Done it.
That's all that matters.
Exactly.
All right, I'm going to start with some of these questions if you want.
Okay, cool.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. So, what has your favorite place been so far that we've explored together?
Lord. Mm-hmm. The old plantation, girl. I want to. I want to go back there so bad. That's two
Mm-hmm.
questions in one. Which one will we revisit? I would want to revisit the plantation, which is my
Same.
favorite, the plantation.
Hmm. I totally agree. I feel like that one ended up being so much better than I expected because,
Yeah.
there was like the stuff that was there and really the story that we came out with after all, even though it got, we got interrupted, but
Yeah.
still, like, it made for a funny story and
Yeah.
we didn't get in trouble.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's the most pleasant busted I've ever been, you know.
Hmm.
Uh,
Hmm.
And yeah, but it gave us a background. They were lovely. I mean, we scared the life out of them. I'm sure if we hadn't have like came out
Spoke up.
and told them who we were, they would have left there thinking it was a ghost.
Either that or I was scared that they thought it was like a homeless person and
Hmm.
that they were going to call the cops and let them come take care of it. And I was like, ooh,
Yes.
I don't know.
Mhm.
So it's probably better. But then I wonder if we didn't say anything at all and we just stayed quiet, would they have kept walking? Because that girl basically made it seem like she had no intention of going into that house, even though it
Mm-mm.
belonged to her family. So I don't know.
No, but her friends, they were having a good little mooch around. And what my fear was is that they were going to come in with the dog and the dog was going to give us away.
Yeah, that's true.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Because they had that dog with them. If that dog had came in and smelt us upstairs, he would have went crazy, or he might would have went into protection mode.
Yeah, that's true.
And I don't
Yeah.
want no dog bite.
Hell no.
I could just see me up there. Please get your dog.
Well, you said, didn't you say where were you at?
I was
At the
at the
jail?
prison, and
Yeah.
that guy was at the doorway with the dog, and I said to the cop, I said, "Whoa, okay, I'm coming
Don't
out.
send your dog.
Don't send your dog in on me." And he was like, "Young lady, come out, young lady, come out." But I was like, I'm coming, but he couldn't hear me. And I thought, he's not going to hear me. And I was wanting to let the others know. I didn't want to leave them and
Mm.
them get a shock like I did. But yeah,
I I just thought it was funny that that happened right after you did the podcast the first time, and you had just said
I
that like
know.
you never really had any law enforcement interaction, and then here they come like all of a couple days
Yeah,
later.
and they were really shout out to Hope County because they lovely in the end. I know they were a bit, grumpy when we first came out. But then again, in all fairness to them, and I have cop friends, so I know it must be like, okay, people's in there and they don't know who's in there. They don't know who's
Right.
going to come out at them. So they have to be, in control and be prepared. But once we got out, they were pretty cool. They were good guys. So,
Yeah, they could see you meant no
mhm.
harm,
And when
and
they
you listened. So
they saw cameras, they knew what the deal was.
yeah,
And
yeah.
so it was, it all ended well. Now I'm on the trespass list.
What does that mean? So if you get caught back there, you get arrested or
I
something?
guess. I guess that's
Oh
what
my
it
God.
means. Yeah. So they said they were going to put us on a trespass list, and if we come back, then they'll take further action, which will probably be a trespass ticket. But I just love to see this trespass list. I want to see if any of my friends are on there. I mean, this thing must be long. He said that they had.
Depends how many people they've actually caught in the
Yeah,
act,
he said they caught 3 people just that day. Hmm.
What? Oh my God.
Yeah, he
It
said.
must be getting hot up there or
Uh-huh. He
something.
said they had just caught a guy that morning in the woods, and they asked him what he was doing. He said he was taking a crap in the woods. Yeah, I don't know why you would choose the woods.
I just love that they told you this
They
story.
did, and they also caught another girl. She was doing her little video. It might have been, I don't know. She was making a movie or something. Hmm.
What?
Yeah.
Dang. And you said you've been there like more times than that one,
Oh, I've
right?
been hundreds of times. I've been
And
there.
that you never saw the cops or anything before that.
No, but I think also I used to go up there by myself, and I think like I just parked right out front. And this is where I made the mistake. I should have drove my husband's car because my husband's got what looks to be a state vehicle, and I'm giving away all my tricks here. But my husband's car, and my dad always said, "Look, white cars are good getaway cars." He said people don't notice white cars. It's true.
That's true.
It's
That is
true.
true.
People forget white cars really quick. Anyway, so my husband's car, it looks like a state vehicle, a PO's car, probation officer's car. So I always took that up there and I parked right there. And I guess they, even if they drove by, they just thought maybe it was,
One of
one of
them.
the state, out there.
Mhm.
But I never had any problems. I mean, I've been there all times of day and night. I mean, that's one night explore that I have done. And
Oh my God, you're
so
brave.
yeah, no, I had my friend with me. I didn't go up in there by myself. Oh, Lord, I'd be scared to death. But I had a guy who went there, and he was messaging me something about something at the prison. And he was there by himself, and he said, I need to get out of here. This place is sketch. It creeps me out.
Oh no.
And I was like, okay, and whatever. And then he messaged me the next day, and he said, "You have got the biggest balls ever to go in that place by yourself." And I was like, I've been there. I've been in both. I mean, there's like there's two big. One is a hospital, one's a prison, and then there's lots of little buildings. But I've been in all of them.
By yourself.
I used to drop my kids at school, and that was my little. I go up there, and it was like a little, yeah, like my abandoned playground. Yeah.
That's hysterical.
Mm-hmm.
Were you with someone when you got caught that day?
Yeah,
Oh.
I was with three other people, and there was also two guys up there exploring. And I
Oh
think they
no.
tried to hide their car, and that's what got us caught.
Oh no.
But they weren't with us, but they were up there too. Yeah. So they must have saw a lot going on.
Oh shit. So they didn't come out of the building with you?
No, they didn't. They already had caught them. They already had
Oh,
them outside. Yeah, well,
dang.
when we came out, they already had the two guys outside, and they looked
Oh
white
shit.
as a ghost. Poor fellas, and I felt so bad for them. And I mean, they
They've quit exploring by now.
well, yeah, I mean, but I felt so bad for him. And then what happened is like two cops, one with a dog, one with a big gun on his chest, come and got us out. And then when we got out, there was the two guys, and they were like, "Y'all all together? Is this everybody?" I said, "Well, no." I said, "They're not with us." And I was like,
Oh
"This is
shit.
everybody to my knowledge." He says, "Come on, whose Jeep is over there?" I said, "Well, that's not no Jeep, but that's mine." And so we went over there, and he then when we got over to my car, where my car was parked, there was four more cops, right, coming up. And
What in the hell?
yeah, and like the whole SWAT team. I mean, they must not had nothing to do that day.
They must have thought y'all were gonna run or something.
Yeah, girl,
Like,
I
I don't
can't
know.
run. I can't run. I mean,
I
you know,
don't know.
so anyway, here we go. So I'm just taking pictures and video, I'm not paying no attention. And but then they came up, and the cop that brought us out, told the other cops to take the two guys to wherever their car was. And I said to him, I said, "What y'all gonna do with us?" He said, "Well, he said, we're going to make sure everything comes back," because he took all of our IDs. And he said, "We're going to make sure everything comes back clean." He said, "And then y'all going to be on your way, but we're going to put you on trespass, blah, 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 blah." I said, "Look," before we left, I said, "Look, I want to know where the two guys are." I said, "And I want to make sure," I said, and they were nice young men, respectful, nice, and they looked scared to death. And I said,
Oh,
"I want to make sure they're okay. Y'all ain't going to do nothing with them boys because that's not fair. Let us go." And y'all are over there giving them a hard time. He said,
yeah.
"They're fine. Don't worry about them." As long as their IDs check out, they're fine. I said, okay. So I found one of them on Instagram and I messaged him.
You did.
And I said, are
Oh
y'all
my
okay?
goodness.
And he said, we're fine. He said, they've put us on trespass list. What does that mean? And I said, well, just means don't take your tail back up there.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
said, but I said, don't worry about it. I said, but I wanted to make sure, you know.
That's kind of sad.
It was sad. And, you know,
Are they young? Were they younger?
they were like, well, one I think was like maybe 25. They were,
Okay.
they weren't any, oh, they couldn't have been older than 25.
Okay, so yeah, they were younger.
Yeah. So,
I wonder if they probably have never had a lot of like interaction with the police before.
no,
It will scare the shit out of you when it
he
happens.
messaged me after that, and he's never had a thing like, no, he's never had anything like that.
Dang, that's crazy.
Yeah. But I mean, and it's one thing, they were just doing what we were doing, you know, taking photos and that, maybe looking for ghosts. And I didn't want them to get banged up or something, spend the weekend in jail. No, but I don't know what I was going to do, but
I'll bail them out.
Mama's got some bail money. I'm coming to get y'all.
Those cops were probably like, "Ma'am, are you sure those aren't your kids? Because you're awfully worried about them."
Yeah, they probably, yeah.
You're like, "I've known them for 5 minutes."
I know. I'm the mama of urbex. I got to look
You
after
really are.
people.
It really is just in your nature to be that way. So that doesn't surprise me really at all.
I'm very
Um,
protective.
That
Yeah.
does suck though, especially when like, they don't know to ask the questions like you do right away to get the closure they need so they can stop freaking out in the moment,
Yeah.
because you were smart to be like, well, what's going to happen now? And to have them explain it to you. I don't think that they were thinking that way. And a lot of times when you're scared shitless, you don't even want to talk to the cops because you don't know like
Yeah,
what's going to get you in trouble or anything,
that's right. And I didn't want
And I'm
them
sure they were
saying,
just sitting there. They were probably mute.
yeah.
Not saying shit. Oh, goodness gracious.
Yeah.
At least you got all your times in before that happened, because I'm sure to you that's like whatever,
I
you don't really
did. I
care.
did. I've been tempted to go back, take a different car. I'm serious.
Carrie,
I missed that
but
place.
you said you've been there hundreds of times. And you're on the no trespass list.
I know.
And you still want to go back. What for why?
I just feel there's stuff I just want to revisit. I just love that place. I don't know what it was about that place. You know, it was just so interesting. And I really get into all the areas and like really investigate everything. You know, I knew it. I should have been the tour guide.
You should start a program.
I took so many people there, but I tell you a story. Did I ever tell you a story about the first time I went in there?
Mm-mm.
And you know, I don't ghost hunt, you know, that sort of thing.
Oh no.
I mean, I'm always open. I'm open. I know you're not, but I mean.
No, I am. What do you mean? You done freaked me out about the fucking window at the clown house thinking it was a whole ass spirit for weeks. Like to the point where I wouldn't go. I was like, I'm not going there. There's a ghost in there. I don't want to have no interactions with that. Meredith was like, let's not boost you into that house because I was like, yeah, we don't want Joe or whatever his name is coming out. I just got no time for that.
Well, the craziest thing is I used to walk around there because this place got locked up for a long time. And I heard different things. I heard people had got arrested, people got tickets. Very close people to me had talked about how when they had went previous, that no sooner they got in the building and the security was outside calling the cops. So I thought, well, you know, I just want to walk around outside. So I went up there and I just started walking around outside, just looking at all the buildings, taking photos outside. And I realized before I knew it that I had been there for a good long while and nobody had even drove past. So I went back again. I go up there about 2 or 3 times a week. I drop the kids at school. I go up there. I'd walk around. Well, one morning I got real excited and I went in the window, but the door was actually unlocked. There was no light. I didn't realize it, but I thought,
You didn't even try it.
yeah, the window was broken out. So I crawled in the window and I'm thinking, crawling in the window. And the daggone door was open the whole time. But anyway, so I'm in there. I was walking around a couple of mornings later because I was on it then. I was excited, you know. And I said, daggone, there's a hole in that fence. And they're double fences. So it's a fence, then another fence, and they both got the barbed wire, the razor wire on top. I said, well, oh my gosh, there's a hole in both fences. Somebody done made them a way in, whether it was in the past or whatever. So I was like, okay. So I crawled in that hole and crawled in the next hole, and I went around the back, and I said, I'm going to walk around the building. It's a big building 2 times. If nobody comes, I'm going to find a way in. So I did. And at the time, it was boarded. Everything was locked down. And I found one little hole, and it took me into the basement. And I'd had forgot my daggone flashlight.
Oh no.
Because I wasn't expecting to go in.
Of course,
Left
yeah.
the flashlight in the car. I said, well, shoot, if I go out to get the flashlight, I'm wasting my time. So I have my GoPro and I have my phone. And so I'm in this dark tunnel and I'm trying to get my GoPro on just to give me a light. I click the GoPro on and it lights up a little bit, and I see this metal spiral staircase. And I'm like, that'll take me up in the building. I'm going. I went up. Soon as I started to get to the opening, there was light. Jesus said, there will be light. And there was light. But I hear this humming noise. It was deafening, Courtney. It was like, at first I thought it was like an air conditioner hum. And I thought, shit, this place ain't got power. What is that noise? What is that? And then it was like moaning. It sounded like 12 people at one time moaning. And I was like, oh my God. I was like frozen. And I'm taking my GoPro and I'm just around, just like a crazy person around, just like, I don't even know what I was filming. I was in the kitchen. Okay. And I was like, okay, well, you in now. I mean,
You didn't turn. You didn't turn around and run out.
yeah, I was like, I'm in now. Shit, I'm rolling. I mean, and I was like turbo through there, and I ran up every floor. I took pictures of what I could. My phone was draining. My GoPro was draining. I mean, quickly, and I just did what I could. And then all of a sudden, the thought hit me: this whole building is closed up, nailed shut. If something comes after you, you have no way out. I didn't even know how to find my way back to that staircase.
Oh shit.
I was like, and I started to almost have a panic attack. I thought, I'll have
Oh
to
no.
jump out a window 3
Oh
stories
no
or
no.
something. So anyway, I found my way out. I got out. And so I came home and everything. I didn't think too much about it. Later on, I started going through my photos and stuff. They were horrible because it was so dark. I was on a GoPro and my phone, and it was just horrible. And I see this awful thing in one of the pictures. And then I was like, wow, that was like in that tunnel. Like as I was looking up the spiral stairs, it was pitch black. When I turned my GoPro on, it started recording, and it's captured this awful looking thing. I can't even describe it. It looked like a face. And I thought, maybe this is my imagination. So I called my sister-in-law. I said, hey, look at this. Do you think this is anything? She goes like, oh my God. She's like, I don't know what that is, but you do not need to go back there.
Oh my God.
And I was like, okay. I was like, let's check the video and see if it's on the video. I did. And when we went to check the video, she was like, what's that noise? You could hear this moaning in the video.
What?
No word of a lie.
Oh my
Craziest
God.
thing ever. Craziest.
Did you ever go back in that building?
Yeah, all the time. But the next few times that I went, I'd make somebody go with me. Mm-hmm.
Did you ever go back in there by yourself?
Yeah, I did. Mm-hmm.
You did,
Yeah,
but
but
nothing
not
weird like
often.
that happened.
Not often. I didn't go back in that part by myself. I'm sure if that place is haunted, and I
Mm.
spoke with a guy who was in there. I think he was in there as an inmate.
Oh shit.
And he knew that place like the back of his hand. He told me where the morgue was because I could never figure out where the morgue was. But he said to me, I said, I believe that if there's any haunted or any bad part, it's the kitchen. That's the only time I ever had anything, feeling funny. And he said that they used to bring the dead bodies out through the tunnel by the kitchen.
Oh God.
Hmm.
Oh no, that's scary.
But anyway, so that was my little story. But I love the place, and I was more afraid of somebody in there and a real person, and
Hmm.
maybe coming out and scaring me accidentally, or things.
Or on purpose.
Yeah. So
Hmm.
yeah, it was tough.
Yeah. Sometimes I think I'd rather be caught by cops than a squatter or a property owner because they're a lot less predictable and they ain't got
Oh
no
yeah,
rules to follow.
that's right. I mean, worst the cops going to do is take me to jail, but I'm still gonna
Hmm.
have my life. I do
Hmm.
not. I don't want nobody to. Yeah, I don't want to run up on blooming Ted Bundy. Yeah, Jeffrey Dahmer's cousin.
Hell no.
Hmm.
I
Yeah,
know, right?
but
You never know what you're gonna find.
I know. But I think it was something in that church, though.
That was definitely a person.
They were mad too that we were in there.
Yeah. But what was funny is I feel like that happening was our saving grace because then we realized that there was like a cop car parked like right there within an eye shot of us that probably like watched us go into that.
Bet you he did. I didn't even notice him when we went in. But yeah, I bet you he watched
And
us
you know,
come
that's
out.
the second time we've done that because whenever we were circling that gated house when you came to me that one time and we
Yes.
couldn't get in and all that fenced up area and that cop was across the street at that church and I was like,
Yeah.
look. And we never notice it when we get
Oh,
there, only
and the
after.
other day with the hospital, the you remember that it was like the care home. What was that place called? Nursing home or something?
Oh, yes.
And we drove all the way around, got to the
And
back,
you said, wait a second.
and I saw the front of what I thought was, and I said, "Yep, that's a cop back there."
Oh, shit.
Because
Yeah,
I
that
was
was
going to
crazy.
park right there. I wasn't even going to
Mm.
turn that corner, but I saw a
He
little.
would have watched us walk in, or we would have probably ended up seeing him as we're walking up to it and look real stupid.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, oh, never mind.
I know, I
That
know.
would have been crazy. Oh, yeah. So, speaking of, do you think that the clown house is haunted, or do you think it was just the wind?
I mean, I'm really.
Because the music box thing is still weird to me.
It is, and I don't. I mean, I think that some of that noise is that window makes a noise. The wind is definitely blowing that window. But I heard the cabinets like sounded like they were slamming. But I mean, you could sort of knock holes in it. But the music box, no way. No way.
Mm-mm.
I don't know how that music box just started playing
Yeah,
out
that's weird,
there.
especially because you have to like twist a
You
thing
have to
usually.
turn it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
But I mean, there's always explanations for things. When you see it or hear it with your own eyes, you can sort of validate it more.
yeah.
Um, but there could still be reasons. So, I mean, I believe in spirits and stuff like that, but I need like concrete proof.
Hmm.
I sort of try to to make reasonable explanations for things happening.
Yeah, me too. Me
Mm-hmm.
too. But
Yeah.
then, I think it's also an energy thing because, like, some
Mhm.
places you go to and you can hear all the noises the whole time and not think twice about it and not like get spooked. But then you can be in a place like that and then hear one noise and you're like, I'm getting the fuck out of here. Like,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think there might be perfect explanations for what I got pictures of and what I heard, and what is on, the video. It might be. Definitely could be. And with photos, there are always explanations a lot of times because of lighting and
Or a lens.
reflections.
Yeah.
Definitely. And I got the dodgiest of, I mean, even with my camera, I mean, I never cleaned the lens. I mean, I'm just, it's probably cracked.
I do the same thing on my phone and then I regret it when I look at all the pictures. I'm like, not a single one of these are clear enough for shit. Like, thank God I
Yeah,
put a mystery behind my photos because,
I
like, it works
know.
out sometimes. But I literally,
Same.
one of them was so blurry, but I still like edited it and I just put it in with a bunch of other ones instead of
Yeah.
posting it by itself. And this
Mhm.
girl on TikTok literally commented on it. It was like, why does this look like AI? And I
Oh,
was like, it's
shit.
because my lens was dirty, so it looks all like morphed together because there's no like the contrast isn't heavy enough or whatever, because like you can't see the sharpness between each object, so it like all blurs together like a blob.
Yeah.
And she's like, why does this look like AI? So I had to literally tag Robert in it. And I was like, well, he was here with me. I think I tagged you in it also, actually. And I was like, well, they were here with me. It's a real
Yeah.
place.
Didn't make it up. Yeah.
Oh shit. But
And
that was the first time I ever got that. And I was like, oh my God, now this is going to be like something we experience regularly where people are like, is this AI?
yeah, I've had to ask, yeah, quite a few times. But I mean, ain't none your business if it's AI. What's it matter? I mean, gosh.
I don't know.
I mean,
I'm not in the genre of needing to use AI like for my pictures, you know what I
no,
mean? Like
but like,
I'll let it help me out with some history or some research every once in a while or let it point me in the right direction, but I don't rely
yeah,
on it.
no, and the furthermore, like now a lot of like Facebook, it'll tell you if it's an AI photo.
Mhm. Yeah.
No, and so I don't know, but like I've edited with AI, but I usually will like say there was a house I wanted to post one time and I run it through AI to change it because I had promised the lady that I would not show it on Facebook or anything. And then she died. And I, I
That
felt
was a turn. I didn't expect that
right.
twist in
I
the
know
story.
that escalated fast, didn't it? But yeah, and so I wanted to show it after she passed, but I still felt I had to be loyal to her.
Mhm.
So I
That
did
makes sense.
not. Yeah, so I ran it through AI and made a picture. It don't look nothing like the house.
It doesn't. That's
No, I
even
mean
worse. That's kind
it
of
is.
worse.
I used like 10 free goes on some app. They wouldn't give me no more goes because I was trying to get
You're
it
like,
as
damn, I gotta choose one of these 10.
yeah, I was
Fail.
trying to get it as alike as I could, and that didn't. Yeah, I mean it's similar, but anyway, it don't matter. But
That's a good idea, though.
I didn't want her coming back to haunt me or nothing. It's a really sad story, but anyway, I'll tell that one on another day.
Oh God. Well, yeah, I never even really thought about that. Like if you get permission and then the person's like, no, about posting, but then they pass away, like what do you do, Because
Yeah.
technically you could, I guess.
Yeah, and she didn't even live there anymore. And I pulled up on her, and she just like started chatting to me. And she says she don't live there, and she said but she comes back because it reminds her of all the good times she had there with
Mm,
her family. And it was
mm.
a sad story. And I said, well, can I take photos? And she said, yeah. She said, but I want you to give me one or send me one. And She said, please don't post it, online or anything. She said, because I come down here by myself and I don't want nobody coming up on me.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
And I said, no, that's completely reasonable. So that was the real reason why she didn't want it shown.
Yeah.
So anyway, I went down there and stuck the photo in between the screen door and the storm door on the house because, she wasn't there when I went back and I brought the photo. And I put my email address on the outside envelope and I said, here you go. Thank you so much. Hope you're doing good. And
Mm.
then it was months later, maybe it was close to a year. And her brother emailed me and said that she had passed away, but he got the photo.
Oh
Yeah,
no, so she never even got to see it.
she never
Oh no,
saw it.
that's so sad. Oh no.
I was so sad about that. She
That's
was
so
so,
sad. Was
and I
she old?
wondered, she was probably in her 70s. Yeah.
Okay,
In
okay.
her 70s. And her kids had moved off. One was killed in Iraq. And
Oh no, one of her kids?
one of her kids was killed in Iraq.
Oh shit. That's terrible.
And her husband, he had passed. And yeah, I think maybe she had another child that had moved off. And she said that she felt that she was back with everybody when she would go, and just visit and that. Now she said, "I'll never sell it," type of thing. She said, and I guess she aired it to her child or her brother or
Yeah.
somebody. But I wondered, and I didn't want to ask too many questions, but I wondered, had she just died or did she die just after I was there? I mean, what? Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
But I thought how great that he did email me and tell me. But I think he thought that I was a friend of hers. He didn't
Probably.
know. I don't
He
think he
didn't
knew.
know that you were just like a
Uh-uh,
random
uh-uh.
acquaintance.
And
Yeah.
he was letting letting me know that she had passed. But yeah,
Oh.
crazy things that happen, isn't it?
It's nice of him to go out of his way to email you too, you know what I mean? Like, most
Right.
people would have just been like, "What the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, why are these
Yeah.
pictures here?"
But I mean, I think that's the only reason why he emailed me is
Mhm.
because he thought I was a friend of hers
I'm
and I
sure.
had dropped something by and but yeah,
Oh, no, that's so sad.
yeah,
Dang. Have you been by that house since then?
it's gone.
It's
It's
gone?
gone.
They tore it
Hmm.
down?
Yep.
Oh, shit. Oh,
Hmm.
I hate that. Was it in bad condition?
It was far away from me because, honey, I would have been there. I would have been there in a minute. I would have done full photos, every little nook and cranny.
Mhm.
But it was far. But yeah, it's last time I was in the area. Yeah, it had been torn down. It was in bad shape anyway.
Oh, it was.
When she went there to visit, I don't even think she too much went inside. Hmm.
Dang, that's crazy. I always
Hmm.
find that so weird when I hear people have houses like that and they like go to the property, but they don't bother to go inside. I'm like, what?
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
You gotta go
Yeah.
in your own house. That's just like the plantation house, and that girl said she hasn't been in
Yeah,
there in what, like
15
15
years.
years? Yeah, it's like, what? If that was
Uh,
my family's house, I'd be staying the night up in there every weekend, camping
yeah,
out.
yeah, right. I've been,
Literally.
I've
I'd be
been having
having a whole
house
seance in there
parties.
with my Ouija board
Yeah,
being a weird
house
bitch.
parties. I mean, that thing be decorated at
I've
Halloween.
been
I'd be
I've been
charging
calling you
admission.
like, "Hey, bring all the candles you got. I got the Ouija board and the wine. We're gonna have
I
a good
know.
old Saturday night."
No, we should do a girls' night and yeah, just go and get little Rose. She loves a little spookathon and get
Mhm.
Rose and go and have like a little yeah. But I'm too chicken. I get freaked out at night.
I know, me too. I can't do a night explore. Or like, I don't even know how people camp out in bandos at night. People like stay the night in like an
I
abandoned prison.
know. I know.
What? What do you mean? First off, what light do you have on you that lasts 24 fucking hours? Because there ain't no damn way I'm turning any lights out.
Yeah, that's
Like, I
right.
better be bringing 27 candles with me. I'm lighting up the whole fucking room.
Yeah,
It's because of me, the place got burned down because I was trying to keep 27 candles alive, like,
yeah,
that's my thing.
exactly.
I'm like, who's
Oh,
making the
God.
fire? Like, I need some kind of light the whole entire night long. That was
Me
no joke.
too. And could you imagine that place? Because it is spookalicious in the day.
It
Could you
is.
imagine at night? It would be so. I don't even know if we could find it at night.
Hell no. I love though that the girl said when she had to go in there last to like grab some of her grandma's dresses or whatever, whoever it
Uh-huh.
was, the relative, and she said she ran in there so quickly, grabbed them dresses and hauled ass out like
Really? I never heard her say that. Oh my
beeline
God.
to the dresses, got them out the closet, and ran, hightailed it out. I was like, oh my God. And that was my grandma's house or whatever it was, her aunt. I can't remember what she said.
Mm-hmm.
But if that was my relative's house and I had full on access to it anytime, I'd be in there putting her dresses on. I
I
have her in
know,
a
but
full
I don't
photo
know.
shoot.
Even if it was my grandma's house, I don't know. I might would get still get spooked out at night. But I know after my grandma passed, and I used to go in her house to do different things, and I get freaked out.
Yeah, I guess it's probably different when it's your own
Hmm.
family and you have your own
Hmm.
like emotional relationship with that
Yeah,
place. Yeah, that would
yeah.
be like if I had to go into the home I was raised in Germany by my grandma, like the
Hmm.
house that I relate to her the most. If I had to go in there now that she's passed away, I'd probably be freaked out a little bit. Like, I
I
don't know.
bet.
I guess it makes you feel like you're more susceptible to the energy because that's like your relative
Hmm.
or something. So, like, if anyone's going to fuck with you, it's going to definitely be them.
Yeah,
That's how I feel. I'm
yeah,
like, no, I'm not opening that door.
yeah, yeah,
Uh-uh. It's different when it's a ghost that doesn't belong to you, then you're
yeah.
fine. You're like, the clown house ghost, fine by me. My grandma, no, no.
No, I don't want to see my own family.
No,
Oh gosh, that's crazy.
that would freak
But
me out.
yeah, and the clown house, really, to be honest with you, it is the most innocent. It doesn't even look like a house. It looks like a vacation house. Like I would take my kids there for the weekend to stay at the lake,
Mhm.
type of house. It didn't seem creepy at all. I mean, clowns creep some people out, but not me. I think they're cute. I've always been a carnival fair person, and I love clowns. But they don't creep me out. But I don't. So really, to get that sort of vibe and have those things happen, yeah, it didn't seem like the type of place that would happen.
Yeah, yeah. Because when you posted pictures of it, I fell in love with it instantly because I love like a
Yes,
good old Brady Bunch looking setup. That's like
it
my whole
is.
thing. Like I want my own
Yes.
house to look like that, minus the clowns. But
Mm-hmm.
when you like posted pictures of the living room and I saw the furniture and all that, I was like, oh my God, this is like so perfectly vintage.
Yeah.
And then later when you started telling the story about the creepy shit that was going on there, I was like, you see, that puts a different spin on the clowns because, like, normally they wouldn't freak me out. But now that you're talking about spirits might be like erupting in the
Mhm.
place, I'm like, no, that's because the clowns.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, that's where my
But
brain goes.
not being funny. I mean, if I was, Joey the clown, I mean, if people kept coming in, and when we went, somebody had already been in there and taken stuff. Because I saw one thing in the videos and it was gone.
Oh, no.
So now it might be
Could it be
family.
neighbors?
Some, well, it could be neighborhood kids. It could be family. Who knows? But if I was Joe, and I mean, I don't care how happy of a clown I was, if people was coming in there and taking my stuff,
You'd be
I
causing
mean,
some ruckus, too.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, that makes sense. He's probably tired of people's shit.
Well, maybe. Maybe he didn't like me there to explore.
Maybe he didn't like the fact that you were calling out the fact that he had a girlfriend. For some reason, that made him unhappy
That,
because you were
and
like, "You see, he
yes,
had a girlfriend. There's a curling iron." Then all of
there
a
was
sudden,
the curling iron. Yeah.
and you're like, "Oh shit, no!" I like how you ran right over to whoever that was with you, and you're like, "I'm so sorry. I got so scared."
Oh my gosh, poor Josh. Bless his heart. And Josh is not one that gets scared.
He was
Josh is
probably like, "What is
savage.
wrong with you?"
Yeah, Josh is savage. He has, and I think there's something about Josh that he has no fear factor. But I must have came in there like blooming, running from the devil because he was like, "Shit, you scared the hell out of me." But I mean, I was going to attack. I was just holding on to him like he was my husband or something, Don't save
Goodness.
me.
See, if I was in another room and you came in there and you were like, "Hey, I just heard some weird shit. The cabinets are slamming at me," I'd be like, we're leaving." Or you'd be like, "Come on, let's go look at what it is." Like,
Yeah, but they never know about me. Nobody ever knows about me because I'm always crazy. But they might have thought I was joking or something. But
I wouldn't take something like that too lighthearted. But now it makes sense why you were kind of disregarding me at first when we got into that church. And I was like, "I hear something," and you're like, "No." And I was like, "Yeah, no, I
well, a lot of time, yeah, and I try to like a lot of times it can be, and the ceiling tiles had all fell and they weren't falling. They hadn't fallen when I went there before, and they had all fell down in like the church part when we were standing there. So I thought maybe it was like, things falling or noises like that. But then I heard like somebody was making it apparent that like, look, we're in here, get out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This is the Lord's house. Y'all ain't supposed to be here. Get out the
Listen,
checker
it was a
church.
Sunday. We could have said, we're here on a Sunday.
That was an off day, though, for us, wasn't it?
It was a weird day.
It was a weird day because, like, what? And I think it was maybe the time before. We've been out so much, I get them all confused. But the time, I mean, sometimes we'll just be win, win, win,
Mm-hmm.
and but that day was just like, dang. I mean, one for sure house.
It's getting hard. It's getting harder, I've noticed, because I feel like we've done a lot of the good spots that are like in
Hmm.
the area. So I think we got to
Yeah,
start like venturing out a little bit or go to towns we
mhm,
haven't been yet, obviously. But it
yeah.
does suck too, because I think that one day that we went to the day we found the strip club,
Hmm.
that was such a good day.
See, you
That
have
was
days like that.
such a
Win
good
wins.
day.
Yeah.
We like hit a spot going, except for that time I set the alarm off.
Yes.
Back door.
Oh my gosh. Yes. Open the door and back door opening. We were both on our
We
heels.
ran. Uh,
And I had just peed all over their driveway. And I'm thinking, Lord have mercy. I hope this camera ain't seen my ass out here.
and
Oh, oh,
remember when we were trying to go through the garage way and I had said something because I was like, "What was that noise?" And you were like, "That was my car beeping." I was like, "I've never heard your car do that before." And then that alarm goes off later at the back door. And I was like, "I fucking told you." I'm pretty sure it was like a motion sensor. It was like beep, like barely, but it was like it was there. And you're like, "Oh, it's my car." I'm like, "I've rode with you enough now. I don't think that your car makes that noise."
I don't think it does either. I'm just trying to make
You're like, "We're
excuses,
going in."
I guess. Going in no matter what. Don't matter what the vaping is. That was like us in that nursing home. And I mean, we were going up the stairs and it was like the noise up there. And we were like, what is it? But we just kept going. And then like we hear this beeping and we were like, is that alarms? Could it be alarms? I turned the corner and you're in there with like this camera system of some sort. Like just like inspecting it. Like, oh wow. And
Well,
I'm like,
it threw me off and it spooked me out because we were in a nursing home and it was like beep, beep, beep,
it was like a
like one
heart
of those like
monitor.
heart monitor things. So literally,
Yeah.
I'm expecting some freaky shit to happen and us all of a sudden start hearing beep, like someone flatline. And I'm like, oh, we're going to check and see what this is. I need to make sure it's not I wasn't even thinking about a camera. I was like, I want to know if this is a heart monitor.
I know. I'm
Like,
like,
they got this strap to whose heartbeat is it detecting?
and I still believe that it's some sort of medical device.
It could be for anything, honestly. They could have cameras. They have that whole thing on video of us going there.
I know. We look like some
It's
dummies. What is that?
giving facial recognition as we're like looking at it. It's like scanning our retinas.
It's like there's a big old thing of oxygen over there. Oh, and files.
There was like biohazard needles in a container. Like it was like, what the fuck happened? They went as
But
far as to like remove the cameras and the ductwork, but they left the like insulin needles in
yeah,
the biohazard case. I'm like, seems
yes.
really like sanitary.
Yeah, it was so crazy. Like nothing else was there, stripped down bare to the sheetrock. And
And you
then
remember
that
that
one,
loud noise
uh-huh,
when we were about to go up the stairs? And we couldn't
yeah.
figure out like we still don't know what that was,
We
right?
stopped twice and we're like, what is that?
Yeah.
And then we just kept going. We are those two chicks in the horror movie that get killed first. The
100%.
blonde, I'm the blonde. The blonde always gets killed first. So I'm going first. There she is, dumbass. And then you're
And then
right
I get
behind me.
killed trying to save you.
Yeah. Then I gotta find her. I gotta find her. She's not all right. I know she's not. And then you gonna go too.
Basically, what you're saying is we're the people I talk shit about in the scary movies because I'm like,
Yeah,
yes, walk toward the noise. Why would
me
you do that?
too.
Walk
Me
toward Jason
too.
Voorhees. Walk toward Michael Myers. Like, what the fuck? But that's us. We're like, ooh, look, there's something big and tall right there with a switchblade. Let's go walking toward it just to make
I
sure.
know. I
You're like, am
know.
I seeing this right? And then you get your throat slashed. You're like,
Yeah.
we're dead.
Oh my
Just had to
gosh.
make sure you're Michael Myers and all.
This will make good content.
This is really why they love the first episode that you were in because it got unhinged really quickly. And I
Hmm.
think everyone just loved that you were so randomly like, well, that one time when I robbed the bank.
I know, right? Hmm. That's
Everyone
why
was like, did she just say that?
we got. That's why I said like we're going to do a part. Well, now we have to do a part 3, and then we'll do the bank robbery story, and we'll let them know. Let them know what
We'll
happened.
call it Bank Robs to Abandon.
Bank rob to abandon.
That's
Back
part 3.
roads to bank robbery. Oh God,
Backroads to banks.
that
Not
is
big
my
banks.
yeah.
The
Well,
real ones with the
I
money.
yeah,
Well, he has money too.
yeah. But that is one thing that I will never explore
A bank.
is a bank. Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that freaks me out too.
yeah.
It's
It's federal
enticing to
property.
me. Yeah, it's enticing, but then I don't want to think about the consequences. Like if there's a
Hmm.
vault in there that has shit
Hmm.
in it still, especially like, oh, then you're going to
Yeah.
jail.
Yeah, it's federal property. That's a whole new sort of set of charges. And I mean, being with my past, I mean, uh, yeah, it don't look good. It don't look good. I learned my lesson.
I didn't even think about that. They're like, hell no.
Even when we were
You got this on
exploring,
your record already.
yeah, you remember that day we parked at that bank? We were
With
going to walk up
Robert.
the road. Yeah. And I was like, I really don't like parking at banks, but I'll take one for the team.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
They're
No,
like,
but
you
I
have
mean,
a
I just,
pre-existing condition with this. Like, no bank for you.
gosh. Yeah. So y'all have to give me y'all's content if y'all go and explore a bank.
They don't really interest me that much because I'm like, what are you missing? Like a bank is
Mm-mm,
just
mm-mm.
counters at the end of the day, and if it's
Yeah.
window, then there's nothing in there.
Mhm. If I think if it was one like the old banks,
Like a
with all
50s.
sort of vintage, yeah, I've seen some in like inner cities that they've done like the old ones, and they're pretty interesting, yeah. But I mean First National down the road here, it don't interest me.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a few here in Columbia too, and I don't. There's just not. Yeah, no. I'm like, unless I am going in there for something, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I better be leaving
I'm
with some
trying to
cash.
think, like, what is on our bucket list? What is it that we haven't done that we want to do? Now, this is my question for you, Miss Courtney.
I would still love to do Ghost Town with you, honestly, but I feel
Me
like it's
too.
so like mm,
Mhm.
it makes me
Yeah,
nervous, you know.
yeah. And I think like the only way really would be, I mean, and yeah, and I think it's going to be even worse now because they said it got sold.
It did.
It did.
Did it? I know that she had somebody interested, that investor or whatever. I don't know if he ever
Uh,
actually bought it or not.
oh, really? I thought that it got sold, but maybe it's just looking at it. But if she's trying to sell it or is selling it, she's probably even more protective of it
Hmm.
now.
That's what I was thinking.
Um, but I mean, the thing is like, yeah, I've heard so many stories lately that's pretty tough.
Hmm. Yeah, I think they're really cracking down on it, honestly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that would, yeah, I really would love a theme. I've never done a theme park.
Me either. Have we talked about that one in West Virginia? That's like that little
Yeah.
one. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I want to go there too, I think.
Yeah, I would love to go there. I like sort of the creepy sort of, really abandoned look of that
Hmm.
place.
Hmm.
And
And
I
they
think
got
it's
like a
great.
Ferris wheel and a little
Hmm.
carousel. And like you can get permission, right? Like you can just
Yeah,
pay and
you
go.
can, yeah, you can just pay and go. So I mean,
Mhm.
that would be easy peasy.
Is that kind of the same vibe for you for like a bucket list
I get,
spot?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I really, at the moment, that would probably be top of the list at the moment. Um, I don't know. I haven't really got anything that I'm super, I just take it as it comes, you know?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But you
Definitely.
know, I still want to do a funeral home.
Well, gosh, girl, I mean, there's plenty of those out there.
I haven't done one yet.
I know. Well, we're gonna have to do that. We're gonna have to put that on. We did try one, but we're gonna have to.
We've tried two. Wait,
What
we
was
might have
it?
tried three. We tried the one in
Oh yes, we
Winsboro.
did. Yeah,
We
yeah,
tried that's the one I
uh,
really wanted to do because that's like
yeah.
that pretty angel one. I
Hmm.
really wanted to do that one. And then we
Hmm.
tried
Yeah, and then we
where
tried
were we?
another one. We were somewhere,
The
but
florist.
yeah,
That had the florist in it.
the forest. Oh my
And then we
god.
drove by the one in Marion, but that's getting turned into something now, so
Yeah,
that's not
yeah.
doable
So,
anymore.
but there's a couple that are still, easy doable. So we got to hit it. And yeah, I mean, we might need to take a man with us on one of,
Probably.
some are in bad neighborhoods. We don't really need to be going up in there by ourselves.
That's true. Yeah, they are a
So
lot
we'll
more
have to do that when we got a big strong Robert with us or something. Because he'll protect us at all costs.
No, I know
Trust.
he will. He definitely will. He's let us know. He's
But
he slayed the law down.
yeah.
I think next week I'm gonna go exploring with Justin that's here, that's friends with Carter. So I'm like, it's a good thing that we're getting more boys around that we like, that we can tolerate because we're
Yeah.
gonna need them sometimes
Oh,
for
I
certain
know. I know. For real. Yeah.
purposes.
Some circumstances, yeah.
Yeah, especially the sketchy stuff. I
Mm.
want to find a good morgue too. I've never seen a morgue in person.
Yeah.
I think
I mean, to be honest, I've seen a couple now, and they really,
they're
it's,
not your cup of tea.
I don't know. It's not really. I mean, I like it. I mean, it's the novelty of seeing it, but I mean, yeah, I don't know. I like, what do you call a morgue? Like the embalming room? Like, I don't know.
Like I'm
But
picturing more
I
like
think about the
maybe.
ice boxes.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking
Yeah.
about. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, I've seen a couple, and yeah, um, yeah, much prefer a morgue. I mean,
An embalming room.
an embalming room, yeah, with
Yeah.
like the blender and the fake heads and
The
the little,
blender.
yeah, and the false
That just
teeth.
sounds awful. Like what y'all blending up?
I don't know what else it would be, like
What are
if
y'all
you're,
putting in there?
we need some, of a mortician to help us out with the name of the
Nah,
blender.
don't even worry about it now. It's forever being called a blender by me. I hope I never talk to a mortician. I'm gonna be like, so what do you put in the blender?
Yeah.
They're gonna be like, the fuck are you talking about? I'm like, that thing. Always looks like it's got a slushy in it too.
It looked like they made a smoothie with strawberries.
Gross. Blech. It's so gross. What is the grossest thing you've seen in a band? I don't think I've ever asked you that.
I think the grossest was shit in bags. To me, that just grossed me out. They had shit
Well,
in bags
rightfully
and
so.
just had them sitting, just laying around. And the
What?
thing was, there was electricity there. There were restrooms. Now, I don't know. I don't know if the water was still on or what, but I mean, gosh, I mean, just do something. Shit
Then
outside in the
take it home with
woods.
you.
Yeah.
Go throw it in a public dumpster or something.
Well, exactly. I'm sure they would go out and panhandle or whatever.
Yeah.
So why did they shit in bags and leave it inside?
Let's
That was
see.
gross. That was
And I thought
gross.
the urine bottles was a gross
And that
sign
is,
and story,
yeah. But I've seen that several places.
Mm-hmm.
Several places. Actually, and that was the most I've ever seen in one location. It makes me think there were multiple people.
Either that or he'd been staying there for a good long while.
Mhm.
I'm like,
Mhm.
why would you want to live amongst your own shit? You know what I mean? Like, even if
Yeah.
it's yours. I don't.
I'm not a man, but I mean, is it easy to pee in a bottle? Is it that easy? I
I
mean,
would reckon.
I don't know. I mean, being a woman, I don't know. We definitely know it was a man staying there because I wouldn't, I
I would
wouldn't.
hope so if he's collecting his shit in a bag and not bothering to take it out. It's even less excusable if you're a girl. Like,
But yeah, that's just gross. I mean, I've seen dead animals and stuff. We saw a dead animal the other day, didn't we? Was that a cat or a dog?
I still don't know. I think it
Oh,
was a
really?
cat.
You think it was?
Well, you would know. You took a picture of it.
I sure did. But it was on my video too. But I mean, I just can't bring myself to look at it. I don't really know I took a picture.
That's just the
Mm.
kid in you.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know.
Uh,
But I think, I don't know.
that's obviously been there for a while. You just wonder,
Man,
you
how
know,
did it not get out?
because it was open. No, like right.
No. I mean, it was open, it was unlocked. But I mean, I doubt a cat or dog could open the door.
There was no open window or anything.
I don't guess so.
Dang.
Mm.
Well, that's kind of sad.
It's like the dead cat
At
at
that
the doctor.
doctor's house.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's so sad. I can't get over the doctor's house we went to, and it's like Sketch City now or whatever.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah.
That
He's
house, I wanted to go in there so bad.
I know. It's such a good house. It's such a good house. But yeah, that was a fresh sticker on the door. Hmm.
I heard from like 3 people after I posted Pandora's box that people have been getting arrested out there.
I've heard that too. But
That scared the shit out of me. I was like, oh my God, I'm glad.
I heard that too. And I saw a video one time they said that when they came out or something that the cops were waiting outside for them. But in the video, it looked it looked different than that. I mean, it looked different. It didn't look like that house. So
uh,
on the outside, but I don't know. I mean, I haven't seen no cops, but I wouldn't go back there now,
no,
because I think maybe they're going to sell it or something. But I don't know. Why would you? Why would it be open like that?
that's what it does. It's not in a poor condition, you know what I mean, at all. So it's kind of like, why would you leave it open? Like, it would be so easy to secure, I guess, is my kind of take
Yeah,
on
and
it.
there's no posted signs.
I don't even bother to lock the damn door.
Uh-uh. Uh,
What?
I mean, yeah, I'm not going to go out and leave my back door open.
No.
I
No.
mean,
But yeah, I don't know.
yeah,
It is weird. But maybe they have something there that we don't know about, like a camera.
maybe,
That
but
thing at the doctor's house freaked me out, though. I've never seen a sticker that says, like, you can't see the camera, but it can see you.
we can say you. Yeah.
The
I know.
fuck?
But then you think, like, okay, really? I mean,
It's still not worth the risk because, like, I would never stop thinking about that
no.
while in there if we did go in there. You know what I mean? But no, I'm okay to let it go.
And but that was, yeah, that was an off day because it was like, easy.
Yeah, we ran into lots of trouble that day.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think is the dumbest thing we've done so far?
Hmm.
We don't have to include being friends with certain people that we shouldn't have been friends with.
Yeah, exactly. Gosh, I'm trying to think, like, what was the dumbest thing we've done? Hmm.
Yeah, I don't really know either,
There's
honestly.
been a lot of dumb things.
That's true
There,
too.
there's been a few. I'm trying to think, like, what the dumbest thing we've done.
Oh, I know. When
What?
you just straight let me walk into that active trailer.
Oh my gosh! Yes. Oh,
And
that
you
was.
said, it smells fresh.
It smells fresh in here. And your face when you turned around, you were like mouthing, "There's somebody in here." The lights blinking on the stove, and I was like, "Oh snap! Yep."
I walked almost full on into that
It
kitchen.
was. It was. I mean, completely occupied.
Yeah, that was lived in.
That was,
I walked
yeah.
into someone's home.
Yes, walk straight up in somebody's
They
house.
could have
And
been there. We don't know.
I thought, dang, when I came in the back behind you, I was like, dang, this is the best smelling bando I've ever been in. It smelled like fabric softener.
It
I was
did.
like, dang.
And
And
then
I think they
I
had just
could hear,
washed their
I was gonna
clothes.
say, as soon as you said it smells fresh, I was like, I think it's a dryer that I hear like inside. There's someone's doing laundry and like probably cooking breakfast, and we're like,
Yes. Could you imagine? They're probably laying there having an afternoon nap on the sofa, and we come right up in
there
there.
was like a recliner in there too. Somebody could have
Yeah.
been in there. I don't know.
Did you stay in the living room or just in the kitchen?
I could see a part of the living room, but this recliner was like sideways and like it was out kind of like the little leg part was out.
Yeah.
So I couldn't
Yeah.
see past that. And it was like one narrow, like long thing. So I couldn't really see past that. And it was a mess. I will say that. Whoever lives there is obviously a hoarder because you saw that room over to the right when we first opened.
Yeah.
It was like packed with
It
stuff.
was
So
debris.
yeah, like frames and shit everywhere. So it's just like,
And the yard, I mean, I would have never guessed by the outside. And there was like insulation, like coming out the crack on the side of the trailer. So I really thought like, and all the plants were dead.
mm-hmm. There's
Yeah,
no car there. Like, I don't
no,
know. It's
no.
weird. But that
But
whole property was weird because remember that weird building in the back of that, even that
yeah,
was like a
mhm,
warehouse, but not like, I don't even
yeah,
know what that was. That was weird.
yeah. It was, that was, yeah. I think like, yeah, that was probably one of our
The dumbest things.
America's dumbest criminals.
At least it's not that bad. I'm sure worse
Ah,
things have happened.
yeah, yeah.
Hopefully, that's the only time we go walking into an active establishment, though, when we're
I
trying
hope
to do
so
the
too,
opposite.
because that was, I mean, that could have ended bad. It
Yeah.
really could have. I mean, we
Yeah.
laugh about it now because we're
100%.
alive, but I think that our fatal attraction house could be the dumbest thing we ever do. Cause I,
Yes, like a foreshadow moment.
yeah,
Mm.
cause I really want to like,
I don't
no,
think we're not gonna not go back.
no,
You know what I mean? I
yeah,
think we are
yeah.
because I'm
Even
really curious
I am
about that
too, and
one.
I just want to go up, and knock on the door, and say, knock, knock, who's there?
I wish it wasn't illegal to impersonate a police officer because I would totally just show up in a cop uniform and
I
be like,
know,
"What up?"
I know, I know. No, we better not do that, girl. No.
No, we cannot. Then we'll get two
Uh,
charges in one.
we could, we, yeah,
We could dress like a Terminex person.
yeah. I mean, listen, there's no charge for acting like you're lost.
But how are we going to act lost all the way up to their front door?
Well,
We're lost in your driveway.
we
We
moved,
don't know if we
we,
should hit this one
we,
first or your pool house.
we moved your raggedy gate to get directions.
And you know what's funny is we didn't even have to go through all that because then when we left, we just walked around. It's like we knew what we were doing when we were leaving, but not when we
Yeah,
got there.
yeah. Oh gosh. And what about that other place? You remember the we saw that brick wall and that and we it was like a plantation of some poet or something.
Yes.
And when
Oh,
we saw
oh,
like a poet, we were like, okay, we're going in here.
yes.
And we tracked down through the woods and everything. And then we finally
That
found the house
big, big, pretty house.
and somebody's living there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was there?
I think so. I mean, it was very well manicured. I mean, we just got the
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And we heard the AC on too, I think.
yeah,
Yeah.
but
Dang.
yeah,
I still wish we could have gotten into those little stores that we went to the other
I
day.
think we should try because I was reading about those actually, and I don't know if the those people own those or what, but that was a whole plantation. Whole
Oh, it was?
plantation. Dude built it in the 1800s, and he named it after his first wife. hmm
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Really cute place. But I'm gonna look up and see, but I don't think those though I don't know,
Those
but I mean
people own it.
I don't know who owns it, but yeah. It's that
I wonder if they'd let us in if they do.
I think they would. I think they would.
I do too.
Yeah, it's worth a try. I don't know why.
I like how we just like randomly decided to go walking down that dirt road for forever.
And I bet you that door was open
What door?
on the front of one of those stores. Had a cinder block in front of it.
Yeah, the one with the Coke sign.
Mm-hmm.
I saw that, but I don't want to make a lot of noise because it looked like I
Yeah.
couldn't tell like what those people at that house over there could
I'm
see,
not
you
there were
know.
two houses too. So that's double
That's
trouble.
true. Yeah, I
Yeah.
forgot about that.
Mm-hmm.
It looked cute though. I wish it was more accessible like Lone Star was
Yeah, yeah.
because that was so cute.
Lone Star hasn't been preserved like those things have.
No. I
Mhm.
mean, it's amazing there's anything left inside those places at Lone Star with as open as they are.
I know.
But I know it's because they're out in the middle of nowhere, so like ain't nobody
Yeah,
gonna go driving out there.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
crazy.
cute though. It's always nice to find an old store or like that old corner store we found, remember? The white one. The
Yeah,
one that gave me trouble with the door.
yeah.
Was really trying to get that open. It was not working. That was cute though. I didn't expect there to be as much stuff in there as there was. That was a cute, cute place. I was
It
like, dang,
was.
there's actually stuff in here. There's like old golf clubs in there and all kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah. That was a good one.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, but I think we should have went in the house, but I can't remember why we didn't now. I think
I
neighbors
don't
were.
think we could. I think it was. I do think we looked in the windows and it looked empty.
Yeah. Yeah, probably won't.
And then it was so overgrown, I don't think we wanted to trouble ourselves with
Mm-mm,
it once we saw it
mm-mm.
was empty.
No.
Remember that one that you found that we turned around for and we like didn't even go in? We couldn't get in because all the vultures kept coming out.
Oh gosh, yes, that was just terrifying.
It was the vulture's nest.
I mean, as soon as we pulled up, they were just like, yeah, oh
That
gosh.
was crazy. That they took that house over for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And you know why? It's because it's right there off that main road, so there's probably dead shit,
Yeah, yeah.
all up and down that road.
We thought it was a school, a monastery.
I wish.
I'm like, there's a monastery school back there. And we're all turning around, going back. That's a,
I'll say that our school luck hasn't been that great because driving all the way out there for the academy, and then
that was a bust.
yeah, that was just
It's been
gutted.
gutted. Yeah, we've
All
only
the
ever
trash.
hit one decent school.
Yeah.
And the people were like driving their four wheelers around. The little girls were like, why are they in there?
Those kids were driving me nuts. So
Um,
I was like, go home. It is about to get dark. Go home to your parents.
yeah.
I just can't handle all that noise. I'm like, uh
Yeah.
I guess in a way it was okay though, because if they be riding their four wheelers around like that, I guess you can't get in too much trouble for going through the school.
No, I didn't worry about them like calling the cops or anything on us. I mean, they were like 10-year-olds driving four wheelers up the road. I think they're doing more than we are. But
Yeah, that's
yeah,
true.
I think
Causing
one
lots
of
of
I
attention.
think one of the dumbest things we have done is playing around that factory when those people were in there scrapping. They were running some sort of, I don't know,
Operation.
yeah,
Yeah.
illegal operation and
Yeah. Well, and then we
several.
find out later
Mm-hmm.
that there's been people that have gotten like ran off by people with guns and
Yeah,
shit in
yeah,
there. And I'm like, dang, they must have really not wanted to mess with us white girls
no,
because like
no, for real.
we're not here for the same thing.
Mm-mm. But that last dude that came up in that Charger, he came up and came around the corner. So I just waved. And the look he gave me was like, he wasn't happy chappy. But here we are.
The
I mean,
one person who rolled through there didn't even make any eye contact with
no,
us.
I know. I know.
He was playing like, if I don't look at you, you can't see me.
Yeah,
That kind of
yeah,
game. And I was like, okay,
uh-huh,
guy.
yeah. And one came past and they had a whole trailer of like a scrap.
I was hauling metal out of there.
3 tons of copper wiring, and they're just grinning with no teeth and everything. They're like living their best life. And we're like, I was like, dang, I don't think they're going to be no trouble. But then we went up in the building where they are actually like,
Why do we do that?
I do not know. And Rose kept saying the guys like come out looking at us. And I was like, it's all right. Don't worry about it. They're just getting their medal.
I wandered off by myself in there for a minute, and then I was like, I better not be over here by myself.
No. Yeah.
Doesn't seem
I
right.
didn't know where you were. And sometimes you'll get gone like that and I'll be like, Court, you okay?
I know I do that. I'm bad with that. Yeah. I'll like see something and it'll catch my eye and I'm like, ooh,
I
maybe
know.
I'm the first one to get murdered actually.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
I'm
going to
like,
be,
something shiny. It's a knife.
we just absconder. Oh, gosh.
That was pretty stupid, but I think in hindsight we didn't know in advance how dangerous
No.
that really
No,
was.
we
So I
didn't.
think if somebody forewarned us properly, we would have probably been like, all right, never mind.
Yeah.
We're not
Yeah.
messing with that.
And I've
Yeah.
passed that place many times and I never, never attempted to go in there because it always seemed sketch, I wouldn't have went in there by myself for sure.
No,
But
no. You wouldn't
then
have
like
knocked it out
that's
alive.
probably my least favorite explorers is like
Yes,
textile
factories.
sort of factories and stuff. That's my least favorite. Mm.
Yeah. I wanted to get a factory done, I
Mm.
think, because I'd
Yeah.
never been in like
Yeah.
that big of a space before.
Yeah.
So it was fun for the experience, but
Mhm.
yeah, I don't know. I mean, outside of like the temptation to like climb a tower. or
Yeah.
something like that, like that's really the only thing that's fun for me at places like that. But
Yeah.
now that I know that that kind of level of activity goes on at most of those places, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you
Yeah.
know,
No.
I'll go climb a water tower then faster
Yeah.
because I'm not
Mhm.
doing that again.
And also, I think also lifting you or, putting you through a window with glass shards, that won't do bright.
We had that stool.
But the
That
stove came
stool.
in handy. Well,
Yeah,
yeah.
we wouldn't have done it otherwise. At least I was smart. You were actually the one that was like, "Come on, get on my hand," and I'm like, "It doesn't seem safe. Like this
I
glass
know, one wrong
is
move and it's like, and they were like,
like even if I put my hand down on it, it could slice me open if I like tried to distribute my weight the wrong way,
I
So I was
know,
like, I wish
yeah.
we had a step ladder, and then the universe said, "Your wish is my command.
It's
Here's a
always the
tool."
way. Always the way. Now I would love another strip club. That was good.
Uh,
But I would like a good like time capsule, like,
like a lounge, like a
yeah,
good,
yeah,
yeah,
good, yeah.
untouched,
Mm-hmm.
not quite as ratchet.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. But we're gonna have to get you in a funeral home for sure. That'll be
I want to do that.
mhm,
Yeah,
that'll be
yeah.
good. Because those are really that and houses are my favorite. Um, and
Funeral homes
hotels.
are.
Funeral
Are they?
hotels. I love old motels, hotels.
Oh, okay, like something like what we did when we found
Mm-hmm.
that old
Yep.
motel with a restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can get down with that. I will say some of the ones that I've seen, and probably even some of the ones I have pinned on my map,
Mm-hmm.
are in places that sketch me out. Like I
Yeah.
almost feel
Mm-hmm.
sure there would be squatters there, and
Oh
I
yeah.
don't want to deal with that.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah.
part.
A lot. I mean, there's so many that are, especially the newly closed ones, are usually riddled with, yeah, homeless or, other activity.
Hmm.
But yeah, I like the old vintage ones. That one was pretty good, that one we did. And I'm really surprised, but I'm not surprised because it was so far out. I don't think
Hmm.
we would have had any problem. And what
No.
about the hotel, motel turned church? You know,
Oh, that was weird.
yeah, that
I still don't know what that was.
that I
It's
was
the
like,
weirdest place.
yeah. But I think I find it really strange. Somebody even commented the other day about how many Jesus pictures I come across. And I know it's
Welcome to
because
the South.
we're in the South, the Bible Belt.
Hmm.
But it's starting to freak me out. Like how much I come across, like the Lord. He's something telling me something. I need to find, get with God. But then we go to that lounge nightclub and it has transformed into um
A church.
a church.
An active church.
Yeah.
So we've actually been in two active places together because we went into the active church.
Yeah. Oh my
Why?
God.
Tell me why that was unlocked, though.
All
There
their
was no one there.
instruments.
Exactly. There was a light on upstairs. There was AC on.
Yeah.
What?
There was AC and then
Somebody could have just went in there and stole all those guitars and drum systems and speakers and everything.
yeah. Yeah. But it made me think also, you ever remember like those telethons where the people would be sitting there like and on the phones and they would have like the evangelist and you would call in and you would give your donation and they'd say, "Praise the Lord. It's Cheryl from Alabama." And
You
she's,
got on the stage. You got on the stage with that damn microphone
yes,
and
but
started reading off the prayer list.
and on that like little podium thing, it had like a 1-800 number, had a script.
Oh shit, for real?
Yeah, and it was like if you want to give, call this number, and it had a number. So it made me wonder if it was like one of those
Oh my god.
yeah,
You know what? We need to go back and look at what that place was called and see if they do any live streams on Sundays because churches do that now.
Yes.
where
I'm
you can just
excited.
go to the service from home, and
Yeah.
you don't have to go because they started it during COVID, so people don't have to get sick or whatever.
Yeah.
And some
We got to
churches do.
Google
I bet
that.
you that's what it was, where you can go watch the service.
We watching it this Sunday. If we're gonna Google, if that thing is going, we're watching it this Sunday. I want to see them play them instruments. I bet you they rocking it in there. Yeah, and they have some drums. I bet you they drumming it out. Gosh,
You can see the prayer list in action, the
yes,
script.
yeah.
I didn't know what the fuck you were talking about. I didn't know if you were making stuff up because you were just like, number 952, we
Yes,
gotta pray.
it was. They
I was
had a
like,
whole
number
script
what?
there. Yeah. And I just felt like, yeah, I felt like I was one of them women preachers, like what's that Joyce lady? Yeah, that comes on like 4 o'clock in the morning, and she's shouting and screaming about how she found God. Yeah,
I was thinking about what is that couple, that fucked up couple that
Jim
like
and
went
Tammy Faye.
yes.
Girl, no word of a lie now. PTA or I think it was called PTA or something like that. They had built them a whole Disneyland. And when I was little, my aunt lived near there, and they had like a whole. I can't remember if it's called PTA or PGA, but she would go on TV and cry, and people would send her money, and they was stealing old people's money.
I
Yeah,
know.
and
You talking
then
about that heritage resort or
heritage.
whatever?
And we
That whole
that
thing was a scam.
and at Christmas they were had decorations for miles. And my aunt and uncle they would drive us through there, and we would go and see all the Christmas decorations and stuff. And yeah, that was some crazy mess. Yeah, and then he
Yeah.
screwed that hooker, and then the whole. That's what ruined him. That's what ruined him. He just
Yep.
had to get involved with with relations outside of his marriage, and that's what
Mhm.
ruined him. Otherwise, them old people would stay faithful to him, kept sending their money.
I know. I know, even though they weren't getting anything in return. Like,
No,
uh,
no.
that place is still standing, though. They still got a building out there, right?
They reused that, and it was like a whole mall and everything. But now
Mhm.
they've tore a lot of it down, but they reused some of it, and it's might I can't remember what's in there, but it's something to do with a church or something. But
Oh, it is.
I,
Oh, okay, that's what I figured.
Yeah, I think back in the day you could explore it maybe, but not.
Ugh, that would be great.
Mm-hmm.
That would have
Yeah.
been fun.
Mhm.
Have you done a mall?
Yes,
You have.
I did.
The one here.
I did your mom. Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah,
Before it got
right
taken
before
down.
they had just started um bringing the like what the demo people in. Yeah, but
Oh,
it was
shit.
good. It was fun. We played with the mannequins, and yeah, it was good fun.
That was a fun mall.
It
I grew
was.
up going to
I
that
know,
mall.
I know.
Uh-huh.
And it was really, really good for pictures.
Mhm.
But I did one mall. It was still open. And, well, I mean, it was open, but everything was closed inside. There was one shop still attached to it that was open, but I had went there and I didn't know it was a closed mall. And, I was looking for a Bath and Body Works, and I went in and I was like, everything's closed. Like, I was like, shit, this is my lucky day. They ain't got no Bath and Body Works, but shoot, we can rock and roll. And so I just started going.
Unexpected explore day.
Yeah. And then I saw people like walking around, like walking, like in there, but not shopping or anything. And I asked this man, I said, is this place closed down? And he said, yeah, there's only one Badcock. He said, and they're closing too. He said, but we just come in here to walk for exercise.
Oh my god.
Yeah. And I was like,
That's
oh,
crazy.
okay.
So it's like a completely dead mall, basically.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
But you
I
couldn't.
mean, that is lucky because then the power's still on.
Yeah, it was. It was power. I mean, some of the plants were still alive. Yeah, it was pretty cool. But you couldn't get into any of the individual shops.
Yeah, of course.
But
Yeah.
yeah, it would have been better if there was nobody in there walking around it. It would have seemed more abandoned.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd
Yeah,
like.
you'd immediately get the comments, "That's
Mhm.
not abandoned."
Yeah. But tell you what, there's one thing that I've not done. I want to do a skate land. I want to go to a
Ooh,
roller skate.
me
But
too. That
yes,
would be fun.
really do. And I went to one and it was, it's just nasty. It was like homeless in there and stuff. It was nasty. It was too dark. But I want to find a good one that is just closed. I'd love to do that.
Yeah, same here.
Mm.
Yeah. I still want to find a good bowling alley too. I haven't done one yet.
Yeah, bowling alley's fun. I've done a couple of those. Um and
That one you did that's like
the Orangeburg.
partially outside because it's like deteriorating or
Oh,
whatever.
yeah, Oakland. Yeah. I don't know if the roof had came off in a storm, if they had tore the roof off. I really don't know what was going on in there. But I made Miss Jonna stop. She was over thrilled. But we stopped and um it was really shouldn't have really went in there, but inside was really cold.
It looked cool.
Yeah.
It looked cool.
Um
It was almost even more cool because it
mhm.
wasn't like perfectly
hmm
intact or whatever.
But I came running out, not watching where I was going, and there was a steel rod sticking out. And Miss Jonna had said, "This is dangerous. Shouldn't really be in here." She was already outside, and you know me, my scatterbrain. And I come running out, like all excited, like I found a shoe. And oh, what you was going? This steel rod caught me right in the gut, and
Oh no.
I'm going to tell you what, I had the hugest bruise. I mean, I'm surprised. And
Oh
it like
no.
cut me in the belly, but I mean, it didn't like cut and like, go through, my body or nothing. I was like, gosh, that was so dangerous. I really need to watch where I'm going. But and then we got back
Dang.
to the hotel and I was like, wow, you know,
That's crazy.
hmm but it was
That
cool.
is crazy. Well, that doesn't surprise me with you though, because you do be getting scatterbrained sometimes.
Yeah, yeah.
Especially over a shoe.
hmm Yeah, and I really need to watch more now that we're in summer, with the snakes and stuff. Because I've gone back and watched my videos and literally seen where I stepped right over a snake and
Yeah.
never knew that it
Oh,
was there. But
oh
seen it when
no.
I
Yeah.
played the video back, yeah. But
Well, you're lucky too because you should be checking yourself for ticks. So at least you think about that now that it's summertime. Because
yeah,
remember, you're about to take that big one home with you.
I know. Yeah, 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 that was not nice.
Oh, shit.
Oh gosh, girl, it's dangerous. I need a new hobby. I'm gonna take up knitting. Knitting is a lot safer. Maybe
Well,
sewing.
well, don't say that because we're just now getting started together. So.
No, girl, they gonna have to put me in a body bag to stop me. And I'm gonna tell you, and my niece said to me the other day, and she's 10, but she always telling me like, Auntie, you're driving to Auntie, how fast are you going? It's 45. So it's like warning me about my bad behavior. And she said, Auntie, she says, this is a dangerous thing you do. I said, baby, do as I say, not as I do. And she says, well, wonder if you die from this. And I said, well, look, if I die in some band aid, it's going to make a good story. Okay.
Mhm.
I might go viral, you know, you never know. But
You're like, I might go viral when it
it's
matters
gonna be.
least.
I mean, it's like better than saying, "Oh well, she passed away. She had been battling her, disease or her cancer or whatever." I mean, at least it makes a good story.
You're dead set on going out with a bang, basically.
I guess so.
I'd rather die doing something that I knew made me completely happy than, like you said,
Mhm.
and like run that risk of suffering or whatever else there might be to do. That
Yeah,
doesn't make as good of a story.
that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, you gotta
Yeah.
live life to the full. My biggest fear in life is dying, if you can believe that. I'm terrified of dying. But
Are
I'm
you really?
Oh God, I'm terrified. I struggled for years. I mean, I think that's, I think that contributed to like my anxiety issues and that. But yeah, I would literally think I was dying. I got real sick one time with ACD, and I thought I had AIDS. I thought my whole family had AIDS. I thought if I was obsessing about just irrational things, and I
Yeah.
thought that, we were all dying. I was dying. Um, yeah, it was horrendous. But I'm not like that bad anymore. It's under control, but it terrifies me. It's not the pain. It's just the definite.
It's permanent. Yeah.
Yeah. And not knowing like what,
Where you go.
um, and the thought of being forgotten, you know, because eventually we are. What?
That's true, but I don't know. I feel like, I mean, I used to have the same anxiety as you. Like, I used to not be able to leave the house
I really?
because I would feel like I was going to die, like
Wow.
that. Like, I
Yeah.
would be like, I'm going to get into a car accident. I
Hmm.
feel like having Nixon made it worse because you have something then that, like, relies on you so much that if
Hmm.
something happens to you, you start freaking out, and like
Yeah.
your brain goes crazy.
That's
And
what
I
mine
think that
was.
same
Mine was
yeah,
birth
that
and
same thing happened to me, and it consumed everything in my life, and I couldn't even get, like, a regular sinus infection or a cold without thinking I had brain cancer. Like, it was fucking crazy, and
exactly.
finally, I was like, "I gotta go." I don't believe in, like, medicine. I don't like to medicate
Hmm.
myself, especially for, like, if I feel like I can just get a hold
Yeah.
of this, because I wasn't always this way? So I was like, "I know that there's a version of me that it can exist that's not like this, but I don't want to be like so medicated that it's just throwing a band-aid over the whole thing. Like I want to work through what the
Yeah.
fuck's happening in my
Yeah.
brain." So I did get like prescribed a really low dose of Xanax, and it was enough to take the edge off.
Okay.
But I remember like just having to make peace with it, and just accepting like life isn't permanent, but it's not supposed to be. And that's why we cherish it more.
Yeah.
Like that's what makes us learn to like really appreciate the people that are good with us, that
Hmm.
are a good fit in our lives, our families, or whatever, however you look at it.
Yeah.
You start to prioritize life a lot differently because you start realizing how precious it is.
Yeah.
And like to me, that stopped being a bad thing
Yeah.
because I was like, I need to enjoy it because I have it now. I don't
Yeah.
want to be on my deathbed and be like, you know what? I spent a lot of my life worrying about this fucking moment right here to the point where I stopped living it altogether.
That's
So it's
right.
like, I gotta do what I gotta do. And now it's almost the opposite where I like push the boundary a little more, like
Yeah.
now I want to go skydiving. I want to go
Hmm.
base jump off of something. Like
Hmm.
I want to run the risk because I'm not that scared of dying anymore.
Yeah.
Like I know it'll happen to me. I'm
Hmm.
okay with that.
Yeah.
And I think that makes it feel like it's further away almost. You know what I mean? Like it almost
Exactly.
separates me more where I'm just like, I'm okay with it. It doesn't really have place in my head right now or in my heart. Like it's not right now. And even if it was, it's not for me to know.
That's right.
Like I could have a stroke and
Yeah. There's
drop out
nothing
right
we
this
can
minute.
do to protect it.
And
You
I'd
know.
rather just know I explored every abandoned place I wanted to explore and
Exactly.
jumped off every plane I wanted to
Lived
jump off and like
every moment. And
yeah.
that's my thing. I'm just gonna put my thought. Um, I think that's how I healed from it in the end was that because even like medication, and I had to get on medication in the end, but I, I I knew that I needed something to get me through, but I was even afraid of the medicine. I thought the medicine would kill me. So then what do you do? I was like,
That
dang,
makes sense.
you know. But it was induced by childbirth after I gave birth,
Mhm.
to my son. But I think it was something that was always like in me. But
Mhm.
I mean, I'm completely healed from it now. I feel like I am. Um,
Yeah.
but I still have that fear, but it's a rational fear.
Yeah.
Before it wasn't. I would fear
But you
things.
recognize that now too.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Which makes it a lot easier. But yeah, I just would dream things up in my head that were gonna, take me away from this world. And
Mm-hmm.
I think at my lowest, I thought, okay, well, if this is my last day, I've wasted it worrying
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
about something I
It being
cannot
your last
stop.
day.
Yeah. And I think that's why I turned the page and got past it. But
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
with the help
Well, we
of
don't have a choice
medication.
because then you realize too, you're taking like, a quality of yourself away from your kids, which is kind of the reason why you're freaking out about all this to begin with. So
Yeah.
it's like you have to be more present and you have to be more focused on like what's happening in front of you and not so much like what could happen later, I guess.
Yeah.
And I had to remind myself of that constantly too, because I'm not going to be present as a mom if I'm sitting here worrying about dropping dead every 5 seconds,
No.
and literally that's how it was. I was like, what is going to happen if I'm not here? Who's going to take care of everything? Like, oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
it gets so overwhelming to even think about.
I think, yeah, I was the same. I think that's what triggered it. But then I was like, yeah, it was something I couldn't like heal from. It just got worse
Mm-hmm.
and worse. And two, the more you sink into it, the more you stay at home and guard yourself and guard everybody you love, the deeper you get
Mm-hmm.
in to where you can't
Mm-hmm.
go out and you
Yeah.
can't, you know. And I would be terrified. I'd be like, oh, I can't go there today. I'm going to have a wreck. I'm going to have a
Mm-hmm.
wreck. Yeah. I'm gonna have a wreck and we're all gonna
Goodness
die.
sake.
And it was
I would
like,
go places and have an immediate panic attack.
yeah.
Literally.
Oh my God.
I'd be like, I gotta leave.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have a heart attack.
Yeah. And the thing is I've lived a very dangerous life. I've come close to, death quite a few times. I think I've used up a couple of, you know,
You used up your lives already.
yeah, I mean, and so, and back then, I wasn't afraid. I mean, the crazy thing, because I've always been impulsive and, the crazy things that I would do. But then when I had kids, it became a whole different thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I still feel that way. I think, when I go out, I do take precautions. It looks like I'm kamikaze most of the time, but I'm not. I'm in control.
I think you're in control. I don't think you're like
Poor Robert,
crazy.
I think he'll never ride with me again. He had to tell me how to drive the other day. And I said, Robert, I'm so sorry. And, but he had me,
I'm
yeah.
used to it.
And I thought, my little
The
co-pilot.
closer we get, the more likely we are to pass and have to turn around like at least
I
twice.
told him
Also, if
that.
we're immediately leaving, we're running a risk of not having that moment before you start driving off where we're like, where are we going?
Yeah.
You love to get in the car and just gun it
I
out. And I'm like,
know.
but where are we
Yeah,
going
where are we
next?
going? Put your seatbelt on. Check
I'm
your
like, hold
map.
on.
We're going
Where's the next
somewhere.
place?
Oh, yeah, we're going somewhere.
You're just ready to roll.
And say, because like when we get within the last 5 miles, you start telling me, you're going to turn up here. You're turning. You got
Because we also get
sector.
to talking. So I'm
Yeah,
like, at least if I've said it out loud too, and then you still pass it, it's immediately not my fault
which
because
usually
I've said
happens. Which usually happens.
it.
Oh my
I
God.
forget to really be on you though. Like I need to, I keep forgetting that you always think like 0.5 miles is 5 miles. And I'm like,
Exactly.
you're like talking mid sentence. I'm like, all right, you got to turn right here in a minute. And you're like, it's 0.5 miles. And then you're like, zoom. Like you just keep going down the highway. And I'm like,
No.
we should have turned like 3 minutes ago. You're like, well, that 0.5 miles surely went by faster than I thought. I'm like, that happens every time it says 0.5.
Oh my
I think
God.
you expect it to last like 5 full minutes. I'm
I
like,
know.
it's not
I
5
just
miles.
don't understand what .5 miles, .4 is even worse. 'Cause that really, confuses me.
You're like, point three is really where
Like,
it's at
yeah,
because then it goes from that to 150 feet in like a split second, and I don't know where I'm at. Like, you're like, I missed
yeah.
the turn,
And
full
I
turn
do
lane
try
somehow.
to blame Sally Satnav a lot. I'm like, damn it, Sally, it's your fault. She was rerouting. She was like, signal was. I try to blame
It's
it.
either that or it's your phone because it likes to overheat. It's like,
Yeah.
we're not going anywhere. You gotta hit the cool down.
Oh gosh. Oh, it's
Something's
good
wrong
fun.
with your phone, I'm convinced.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I mean, but
I mean, that phone be heating up quicker than anything.
it says. Wonder what it is. It might be my
And
light.
now it's gonna be 100 degrees out. That phone ain't gonna make it.
I know. I'm gonna have to start bringing my camera.
You're gonna start bringing a fan around your neck to blow your phone off.
No, seriously.
That's not even for you.
It's hot
That's for your
now. It's hot now. It's about to blow up now. Seriously, I don't know.
Did you just get that
It's
phone?
a brand new phone. Yeah, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the
That doesn't
cover or
seem right.
something. Yeah, I think
It,
it's this MagSafe cover. What
oh,
kind of cover do you have?
just a regular one, like a silicone.
That's what I need. I need like a cooling cover.
Yeah, it doesn't have anything on it.
I think this.
And I drop my phone all the time. As long as you got one of those little temper glass things on your screen, like a screen protector, and then this thing,
Yeah,
you'll be fine.
yeah. That's what I got. It's that little screen protector. It's all cracked up, but
Yeah, mine is too.
yeah.
Could you imagine if those things didn't exist? We'd be going through phones like underwear. I wouldn't have a phone. I'd
Seriously.
be broke. I'd be back to a flip phone. Like I
Yeah.
need something that costs $5 these days because there's no point. I wouldn't be taking no pictures off of that phone.
my
Could you
last
imagine?
my last one, I didn't have one for some reason, and it was so my screen was so bright it literally I get shards of glass in my finger.
I know. I've had a phone like that too. I literally got glass like in my cheekbone one time when I was like talking on the phone, and I was like, "Ooh, that doesn't feel good." And then I realized it was glass. I was like, "Oh shit, I probably shouldn't use this phone." So literally for a long time, I used it as an excuse to not talk on the phone to people. I'd be like, "I can't answer my phone because I don't want to get glass in my face." And people were like, "What the fuck? Why have you been dealing with this issue for 3 months?" I'm like, "Well, really, I don't want to talk to anybody on the phone."
Yeah,
So I'm not gonna get it fixed till
yeah,
there's like no screen left for it to come apart anymore. And that's what I did.
exactly. Oh God, so funny.
It was like half gone.
What's that scar on your
Like coming
face?
off in a sheet. Looks like it got ran over by a car. I was like, I'm still using it. It's fine.
Oh gosh, that's so funny.
Like I would have texted you back, but I don't know what it says. And my screen is gone.
Oh no.
Oh my god, I was dying laughing at you yesterday because when you were you sent me a voice message,
Uh-huh.
but it sounded like you thought you were talking to Siri.
Oh, I might have been. I might have been. What did I say?
You were like enunciating You were like enunciating perfectly. And you're talking real slow.
I was
You were
talking.
like, how about we go with 6 o'clock? Does that work? And it was a voice.
Because sometimes when I'm driving, so I don't kill nobody, I'll just use my voice to like type out the message, and I must have got confused.
I knew that's what it was because you were like, I am just leaving the airport. And I like played it back for Meredith. I was like, listen, she thinks she's talking to Siri. And Meredith didn't get it at first until you were like, how about we do? It sounded like a robot.
That's how I have to talk to Siri because they do not understand my accent. And it will say something about how about we go to a boxing fight, or it just does not understand. I can't blame it really, but yeah, so.
No, it does that to me all the time. And I think it's because my car is loud and I'm literally like screaming at Siri. I'm like, text this. And it's just like, would you like for me to make a phone call? I'm like, no. And she still doesn't understand me. And I'm like, if I use a regular octave, you don't hear me at all. I get no response. And if I'm yelling, I'm not legible. At least the voice message came through super clear.
And I didn't even see that it went through. It just disappeared because
it was a voice message.
I would love to go. I'm gonna have to go back and try to listen to that.
Oh man, that was so funny.
It's like you're trying to talk to somebody in a different language and you don't know their language and you think
it's like I'm a toddler.
Yeah, the more you pronunciate.
And at this time.
Yeah. Oh God, help me.
That was the funniest thing. I actually meant to tell you about that sooner. I forgot. But that made my day yesterday. I was like, she don't know.
And I didn't even realize. That's so crazy.
It's the best. I honestly hope you do it to me again.
I might. You never know. This is why I don't use my phone when I'm driving. A lot of people will just sit there and like text and drive, and I just can't. I can't multitask anymore.
What do you mean? You can't even look for bandos while you're driving?
No.
Because you'd be veering off into the
I mean, I can, but it's not safe. Gosh, my driving.
I'm surprised you haven't gotten in a wreck that way yet. Because you'd be veering off into the other lane, and I know that you do it often just based on your own response to yourself doing it, because you're just like, whoopsie. And then you just like go back in your lane. I'm like, she does this 50 times a day.
Everybody is afraid to ride with me, I'm sure. But the thing is that I'm the one always driving. Ain't nobody yet decided to take my keys from me. They're like, oh, okay, well, I mean, she don't drive for shit, but it's better than us driving.
Gonna wreck it, it's gonna be you.
Yeah,
that's how I feel.
Yeah.
I also think you need a navigator, like a side navigator, not just Sally. You need a person.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. That was thunder. Wow.
Yeah. That was crazy.
Wow.
That like almost shook my house. That was nuts.
Oh gosh.
Okay, I want to cover the last two things because, we've already been at it for a while.
Oh, no, and we're about to get struck by lightning.
That too. But I wanted to get into the funnest ones because I have this little section.
Okay. Yeah.
And it's a who's more likely to.
Okay, cool.
So between me and you, who's more likely to get us lost?
Me.
Yes, agreed. Who's more likely to fall through a floor?
Me. I'm bigger.
I think that's a tie. Well, if you're going to use that against me, who's more likely to forget their flashlight?
Me.
I feel like that's a tie.
No, that is actually you. So many times. Yeah, that's you, girl. Because I'll be having my flashlight most times. You'll be in there.
That was such a fast turnaround.
Yeah, I take that one back.
You're like me. No, you. I know the next one is me, but who's more likely to take home a stray animal?
You. I don't want no cats. Let's go take the cat. Let's move the turtle. Let's save the fly.
Listen, after you left me there at Dunkin', I went and talked to them cats for a few minutes.
No, you didn't.
Remember where we met at the gas station?
Yes, you need to be careful. Them things have be careful.
No, I went to go follow that gray cat and give it some pettings, and then it laid down, and then all of a sudden this black cat comes out of nowhere, and it lays down in front of me too. They're both just laying down in front of me, and I was like, all right, well, I guess y'all are good. And then I walk off to go back to my car, and then they start following me, and I'm like, all right, well, come get in, and then they wouldn't.
Yeah, because you're being nice to them. They think we're going to go somewhere.
Well, next time we go in that area, I want to meet there again so I can get them. I
No.
told Meredith as soon as I got home that day, I was like, you better be damn glad I'm not coming in here with 2 more cats.
Right, exactly.
She's like, don't tell me about stray cats. We'll have to go get them. And I was like, well, they're about an hour and a half away, but we can go. We can go get them. Who's more likely to get distracted and wander off?
Me and you.
I think that's both of
Yes,
us,
both
too.
of us, but I definitely know they.
Who's more likely to ask for permission if we can?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're way more social in that regard. I'm like,
No.
I want to talk to
We'll
nobody.
ask for forgiveness, but not permission.
That's true. Who's more likely to trigger an alarm?
You open the door.
What am I supposed to do? We gotta check the door.
What's that beeping noise? Oh, well, we'll just go around and open the door.
Listen, you were the one that was trying to lie about the motion detectors. I'm like, oh, that's my car. Don't fault me for blindly stepping into the alarm den then, because I tried. I tried to be superstitious about the place, and you're like, it's my car. I was like, your car don't sound.
Well, I was hoping. I was wishful thinking.
You're like, I've had this car for a while. Maybe it just suddenly decided to make a new noise today.
Yeah.
Who's more likely to stash snacks in their bag?
You. You're always.
Really? You don't think that's both of us?
You always bring the snacks.
I do always bring the snacks. I do feel like, though, if I didn't and you didn't get used to it, there have been times where I get out in your car and you just randomly open your center console and you're like, I got some bugles.
True. I do. Just in
I got some
case.
Doritos.
Just in case I get stranded somewhere, I have a granola bar or some Fritos or bugles or breath mints.
At least.
Yep.
A piece of chewing gum. I need some calories if I get stranded.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, I did want to do something similar to the Explorer's track, but since you've already done your Explorer's track technically, I figured it would be fun to ask you, if our friendship had a soundtrack, what 3 songs would you think about putting on our soundtrack?
And that's very hard. I mean,
you can choose one song. If 3 is
there's
too hard.
always the one that always reminds me of you when I hear it, because we both liked it, was Bad Dreams. Because you're like,
I forgot about that moment.
now
Yes.
every time I hear it, I think of you. Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what would be our soundtrack. I'm not sure. What do you think?
I don't know. I'm trying to think if there's a song that comes up a lot or something. No, not really.
Not really. Usually we're not listening to music.
But Bad Dreams was a good one to choose, I think.
Bad Dreams is. And yeah.
We'll have more later.
We will. We'll have to have a playlist. In the end, we'll have a playlist.
That's true. Well, it starts with Bad Dreams.
Yeah.
We have one song.
That definitely reminds me of you. And we both liked it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
that's a good one.
We'll have to say about the other 2 for sure.
We'll save those for your part 3.
Mm-hmm. All right, my girl.
All right.
Love you. Bye.
If you've ever wondered what it's like to balance friendship, photography, and mild wildlife rescue missions in the middle of nowhere, this episode probably answered that, and then some. Huge thanks to Backroads2Abandoned for coming back on this episode and for being my ride or die both on and off the road. Whether we're dodging vultures, debating which road looks less cursed, or pulling over so I can escort a turtle across the road, there's no one I'd rather explore with. These places may be abandoned, but the memories not even close. If you've got your own bestie you explore with and you have a funny story to share, please do feel free to reach out and hit me up on Instagram or TikTok at Urbex Echoes. As always, all of my information and all of Backroads information will be linked in the description, but you can find her on Instagram and Facebook at Backroads2Abandoned. Thank you for coming back and listening to this week's episode of the podcast. Until next time, keep exploring the allure in the abandoned, the beauty of decay, and the echoes of elsewhere.